What's up, folks? I'm Mario, and I'm here to show the new sports drama section because I'm actually not into sports. And if you're like me, I don't want you to think that this should alienate you because I did some research, I did some watching, and I found some good stuff that I really liked. First movie up, got Big Wednesday. This is a surfing movie, but it's more of a coming-of-age movie. These guys in their 20s, moving through the 60s and 70s. Surfing is just kind of the backdrop, but it's a really fun movie. It's funny. There's a really good scene in particular where they try to avoid the draft by messing things up royally, including Gary Busey, who is at peak Busey. He's just Busey enough, combing his hair with fish and faking injuries and acting crazy. And the other guys are Jan Michael Vincent and William Katt. Three different personalities. They do really well together. And it was directed and co-written by John Milius, who also was one of the co-writers for Apocalypse Now, which famously taught us that Charlie don't surf. Next up, we got The Rider. This one is a good one if you like The Wrestler. It had a lot of similarities to it in the sense that it's very somber, it's very low-key. Chloe Zhao, the director, actually used real people. The main character was really a rodeo rider who had gotten injured, and he's dealing with seizures, and he's got a weakened hand. And one of his buddies is in the hospital with permanent brain damage. So it's just him trying to get along without living the life that he wants to live as a rodeo rider. It's just very down to earth, very cool movie. Next up, Homeboy with Mickey Rourke and Christopher Walken. So those two alone should probably get you to watch this. It's a little rough around the edges. It's not perfect, but the characters are very rough around the edges, which is why I actually liked it. It made it more interesting. Plays a guy named Johnny Walker, who's kind of a cowboy. He's kind of a drifter, and he makes his way to New Jersey to be a fighter. Meets up with Christopher Walken, who's like a sleazy promoter, and doesn't want to let him know that Mickey Rourke has brain damage and he could die if he fights again. And then he ropes him into a jewelry heist, which I won't say anymore. Girl Fight with Michelle Rodriguez. I really like this one because it's just dramatic enough. It doesn't try to go over the edge with it. Directed by Karyn Kusama. It's got that kind of like 90s indie vibe going for it that I really liked. She's got a temper, that they kind of show that in the beginning, and then she goes with her brother to where he takes boxing lessons, and she decides she wants to get involved too, but they can only train her and not have her actually fight because she's a girl. But then when they set her up with a girl fight with another girl, she drops out. She has to fight a man. Things just kind of go from there. Last but not least is Rocky 2. So this is the only one that I've seen multiple times. These other ones I just saw for the first time. This is an all-time favorite of mine. I don't think it's the best Rocky movie. I just think it's the most overlooked, kind of underrated. It mirrors the first one really, really well. Picks up right where it left off. So now Rocky is, he kind of just wants to live the family life and just kind of do his own thing. Tries to make money through commercials. Now that he's kind of a celebrity, it doesn't really work out. And then you got Apollo, who's still pissed that he didn't technically win by knockout in the first one. So now he tries to humiliate him back into the ring. And it kind of works. Carl Weathers is even better in this movie than he was in the first one, because he's kind of meaner this time. He goes from opponent to kind of a villain. Rocky himself is still kind of he's still kind of the schlubby guy he was in the first one in a sense. This is before, Rocky and Sylvester Stallone himself became action stars, and the series took a little bit of a turn, which is a whole other conversation. I love those ones too for different reasons. But this also has, I think, the best training montage of all the Rocky movies. It's a back-to-back double montage where the first one is him in the gym, and it's got kind of like a leaner, meaner tone to it, where he's almost like kind of training with like a fuck this guy attitude. And right after that is the classic running scene where the whole neighborhood joins in. And the ending, no matter how many times I've seen this, I'm still in suspense every single time. Rocky 2, if you haven't seen the first one, watch it first, because they definitely go hand in hand. It follows one right after the other. There's some other stuff in here, some other honorable mentions that I didn't have time to talk about. Breaking Away. This was good. I'd actually heard about this a lot before and read about it, and I saw it for the first time. If you liked Big Wednesday, you'll like this, except biking is the backdrop. Another coming of age of three friends. The Wrestler. I feel like everyone's kind of already knows about this or has seen it, but if you haven't, you should watch it, and if you have, watch it again. That's it, folks, and again, these are the movies. Check them out. They're all really good, highly recommended, and see you next time.